Hey guys, welcome back to part 3. Today we're going to continue on with backgrounds, maybe borders, margin, padding, and of course the other stuff as much as we can. So let's start. The background attachment property will specify whether the background image should scroll or be fixed. Okay? When I mean scroll, that means it will not, kind of get down with the rest of the page and remain fixed. Let's have a look so that we'll have a clear understanding of how it goes. So you can see over here that we got our background, and you can see that we have given the background attachment fixed. So you can see over here, when we scroll the page scrolls down, but the background is completely fixed. Okay? You can see the more we scroll down, the background doesn't really move over them. Okay, so let's remove this and let's have a look at how it goes. So you see over here, I've removed the background attachment property, and you can see over here that the background doesn't appear when I scroll down again because the background is not fixed. It scrolls along with the page. So if you don't have any background, um, you know, you don't have any background over here, the more background in the background you don't have anything, it won't really appear. The elevator image won't really appear. Okay. All right. Um. So if you just use these three together, you can get a pretty good stable background. Using an image. So if you're gonna use an image, make sure you use no repeat. Okay. And make sure you also position it right if you want to. You can use background position so that it doesn't hide anything underneath it doesn't come underneath your text, so you can use background position if you want to, and background attachment if you want the background to be fixed and not to appear in each time you scroll through the page and doesn't really affect the the background when your page gets extended. So whenever you're using background image, remember these three properties: the background repeat, the background position, and the background attachment. Alright? Now that we've seen this, okay, now let's talk about scrolling with the rest of the page. Okay? So you can see over here, the scroll is similar to the default thing that we saw. We just remove this and it pretty much runs the same. So you can see over here, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, so background attachment simply means we're gonna set a background image, and whether it's fixed or it scrolls with the rest of the page, you determine what the image should do. Now we'll see background shorthand. A background shorthand means to shorten the code. It is possible to specify all the background properties in one single property. This is called a shorthand. So instead of writing color, image, URL, and repeat and position, I'll simply use a background property. So when I use just the background, I can go ahead and give it a color, and the second property, it can be an image, see over here, URL, and the third property can be a repeat, and the fourth property can be a position. Let me share the tab. Alright, so you see over here, instead of writing all four in different ways, I can give all of them in a single property. Simply give the color the URL, no repeat, and white top. Alright? That's the background color, a background image, whether it should repeat or not, and its position. Yeah, and after that, you can give the background size, okay? And background attachment, background origin, and background color. Now these properties, if you don't really mention, then they will be set to their initial values or whatever their default value is, okay? Let's go ahead with the CSS borders, which we've been seeing quite a lot in these examples, so I think you guys pretty much right now know the syntax of the shot, and it's very simple. So over here we have the borders. We have this border, you can see on all the sides. You can have a border at the bottom. You do have a rounded borders. Let me just, I don't know if you can see that. This is rounded borders. And then we got a blue border, which is just the left border. I guess this is somewhat we've seen in most of the websites. The border style. You can see these are the styles that you can use instead of solid. We just use these most common. You can use dotted. You can use dashed. You can use solid, double, groove, and ridge, inset, outset, none, and hidden. Okay. So this is the dotted border, the dashed border, a solid border, a double border. The groove, ridge, inset, and outset are all 3D. Okay. So this actually depends on the border color value. And also, these define no borders, and these define a hidden border. The border style property can have from 1 to 4 values. You see over here. You can have for the top border, you can have it for the right border, bottom border, and the left border. These are all of the border styles that they have shown. You can try it out yourself to see. You can see over here the dotted border looks like dots, dashed border, solid, double border. If you guys can see that, okay, there is a significant difference between the solid and the double. Like the solid looks like solid black, and the double, you can see that. See, everything, the color of the border is default by black, so you can see over here that kind of looks the grayish, and then the groove border, the ridge, inset and outset. You can see the complete difference between the inset and the outset. In the inset, the left and the top are kind of like highlighted, and in the outset, the bottom and the right side are highlighted. And then you can see the difference between the groove border and the ridge border. They do appear like kind of like a grayish. And over here we got no border, a hidden border, and the mixed border. So we'll try it. Alright. Alright, so this is how it is. And so if you guys want to see it in a different color, then we have to use border colors for it. So let me just do with the border color, and see a bit of difference, and with the border width as well. So let's do for the group. So I'm gonna have border color. I'm gonna have it red, and I'm gonna increase the border width to 10 pixels. I don't know why 10 pixels, but let's see how it looks. There we go. You can actually see quite a lot of difference. I'm just gonna give the same thing to all the others. Let's see the difference. Now, the color and width will make us to see the difference better. You do have a shorthand property for this, so don't worry to type everything out there. Yeah, I guess it's good to go. Oh gosh, you see over here the double border, the groove, the ridge, and in the outset, how different they look. You see the ridge and the groove. You can see that the ridge that got a darker shade like the inside. Like you can see over here for the but yeah, you can see over here that the ridge got like a darker shade like on the inside of the left border and the top border, and inside, and the ridge got like it inside of it. Can notice that difference over there? It looks really cool. Yeah, and you can see inside border, outside border, and yeah. Alright. And then you got here no border and the hidden border. So don't really appear as a border. They don't really. And then the mixed border. Okay. So next we're going to talk about CSS border width. So the border width property is going to specify the width of 4 borders. So width can be specified in specific size like pixels or centimeters, em, PD. I think we'll see about the units. I don't know if we see about the units. Yeah, you do see about the units like so far. That's all you do see about them later. And next one, we're going to talk about border style, and we're going to talk about border width. Now, all right. So we talked about border style. Now let's talk about the width. And I just showed you guys how to do with the width. So we're not going to go much in this first one. So you can see 5 pixel, the medium, 2 pixel, and the thick border. So you can also give like thick, medium, like that. And then specific side bits. Okay, so you got 4 values for the width as well. So you got the top, you got the right, you got for the bottom, and you got for the left bottom. So you can specify in different ways. Let me show you. So when I give the first 2 values, the first value will define the top and the bottom, and the 20 pixel will be applied for the sides. Okay. When we give 2 values, when we define 2 values, then the first value will be taken for the top and the bottom, and the second value will be taken for the sides. When we give 4 value, this first value will be taken for the top, the second value for the right, the third value for the bottom, and the fourth value will be for the left. Let's have a look. Let's also see what no, 3 values will do for it. So this is 4 values, and I'm gonna try giving 3 values. To make it difference on the third value, I'm gonna give it a bit bigger. Yeah, you see over here that it added somewhere in the bottom, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'll try this so I can exactly see like where the difference is. Alright, so I added a lot at the bottom. Oh my god. So we tried with the three values, and you can see over here that 5 pixels, and then we got 30 pixels. Now how this adds value is the 5 pixels for the first value, and the second value is for the right and the left. So this 5 pixels for the top and not the bottom. Now the 5 pixels are going to be for the right and the left, yeah, the sides. And then we got 30 pixels long for the bottom. Alright, so this is how it is. So you see the second paragraph that the bottom got a bit bigger because of the 30 pixels. Let me show you a bit bigger. This one, so you can clearly have a look at how this is gonna look. You can see the sides getting a bit bigger because the right side and the left side applies 20 pixels. So this is actually really helpful. Yeah, so I hope, let's go for the next one. Alright, so we got a question. Interesting, we didn't really play with these questions. Which property is used to set the width of an element's border width? Okay, let's not do that. If you guys are interested, you can visit this website and try to answer these questions. Then we got CSS border colors. Border color property is used to set the color of the four borders. You can specify it like a name, hex, RGB, HSL, and also you can give alpha values, which we already talked about these colors. So you can see over here that we're trying to give the border color in the color name using red, green, blue. And we can also give like specific colors to the sides as well. Okay. Oh my god, it's very interesting. Let's try. So you got over here the border style, it's solid, and we got 4 different border colors. So the red is going to be the top value, and if you don't really see, the green is going to be the right value, the blue is going to be the bottom, and the yellow is going to be the left value. You see the yellow, I don't know. Maybe I increase the pixels, so border width, so have a pretty clear view. Does have a clear view, guys. You see over here the bar, I'm just increasing so that you can see the colors, and this is how they look. It's a multicolored border property. Okay, so now let's go further on using hex values, and these are the same color, guys. And then using RGB and then HSL values. Alright, so drag and drop the correct property to green. So it goes like border color and then green. Let's go for the next one. Border sides. So border sides means you can actually style individual sides of the border. The border has 4 sides: top, right, bottom, left, which we've been seeing for the past. We've been seeing how to add colors and different, mixed styles for each side of the border. So you can see over here the example that I can separate them. I can separately say that the top style is dotted, or the right side must be a solid, the left side must also be a solid, and the bottom style must be dotted. Sometimes we actually forget the shorthand property to give all of these four styles in a mixed way. We do not know like whether we're actually giving it the right way, we're whether giving it for the top or the right or bottom or left. So you can just simply use these style properties to know that. And another way is, see over here that we're trying to give the style and the color together. Let's try this property. So you can see over here in the border style, I'm trying to give the two styles together, and you can see that the first style is being applied for the top and the bottom, and the second style is being applied for the left and the right. So border style has four values. Top border is dotted, right border is solid, bottom border is double, left border is dash. So if you give like four values like dotted, solid, double, and dash, like next to next, and the first one will be considered as top. The second value will be considered as a solid. So let me like show you about it. So over here we have dotted, solid. So I'm gonna give it the same order that they gave. So the first one is, oh sorry, I'm yeah, dotted and solid. And the third one is, let's say, double. Next one is dashed. And then let me like increase the bar width so we can see the difference clearly. Oh gosh, that's too much. Let's do this. Let's do 5 pixels. Yeah. So you see over here that we got okay, so you can see over here we got the dash at the left side, the double at the bottom, the solid at the right side, and dotted at the top. So that's what they're like trying to tell you. And you can see over here, if it has 3 values, then the top will be dotted, right and left are solid, and bottom is double. So let's say if it got 3 values, the bottom is going to be double, and the right and the left are going to be solid, and the top is going to be dotted. Now, if it has 2 properties, then as we saw the same thing for like the color, the top and the bottom will be dotted, and the right and the left will be solid. And if the border style property has only 1 value, then all the four will take that same value. Right, so right border is solid and top border is dotted. So you need to mention border top and border right for it to do. Now let's talk about the shorthand property. Shorthand border property. So like we saw previous, there are many properties when dealing with borders. So to shorten the code, you can see over here, 5 pixels, style, and the color will be given. Okay, and they mentioned that this solid is, so you can see over here that the first property is the size or width of the border. The second one is going to be the the style, and the third one is going to be the color. So let me just remove this and see how it works. Oh here, oh my god, it's not working. So let me remove the color and let's see if it's working or not. Yeah, it gives the default color. Yeah, it does work. Alright. So let's go on. So you can see here the left border. So if you give border left, You can simply give 6 pixels solid red, border bottom, and so on. Drag the correct set of values to set the border at 5 pixels solid and green. So border 5 pixels. The first one will be the width. The second one is going to be the style, and the third one is going to be the color. Let's talk about rounded borders, where we give border radius. This one we use a lot whenever we need the border to bend a little. So you see over here, normal border and round border, even more rounder, and kind of like a lot rounder. Alright, so yeah, so we have border radius and we need to give some value for it to have that radius applied to those borders. Let's talk about margins. Alright, now they've given a margin over here, has a margin of 70 pixels. Okay, let's see what this margin actually means. So the margin is used to create space around the elements outside any defined borders. So outside of the border. So even border tries to create like, like a box around the element, trying to space out the element. And with CSS, you have full control over the margins, and CSS has properties for setting the margin for each individual size as well. Like you can set them for like top, the bottom, as well as right, bottom, and left. Same thing that we did. And all the margins can have the following values. They can have auto, the length,